Let's talk about the Saab Gripen, a Swedish fighter jet that's fast, agile and affordable, with a reputation for being one of the most versatile combat aircraft in the world. The Gripen is celebrated for its ability to deliver high performance at a fraction of the cost of its competitors, making it a favorite among nations looking for cutting-edge technology without breaking the bank. It was designed to operate from almost anywhere: highways, rural airstrips, or even makeshift runways, giving smaller air forces a real edge in flexibility and rapid deployment. It's a marvel of Swedish engineering, promising independence for countries wanting a modern air force. Saab's vision was to create a fighter that could be maintained and operated with minimal resources, truly embodying the spirit of self-reliance. But here's the twist. At its core is the American-made General Electric F414 engine, the same powerhouse used in the US Navy's Super Hornet. This engine is what gives the Gripen its impressive speed and maneuverability. That engine gives the Gripen its power, but it also comes with American control, thanks to strict export laws called ITAR, which regulate the sale and transfer of US-made military technology. This means every Gripen sale needs US approval, no matter where in the world the customer is located. So, while Saab marketed the jet as a symbol of independence, Washington held the real power behind the scenes, quietly shaping who could and couldn't buy the Gripen. Every deal required a nod from the US, turning the promise of autonomy into a bit of an illusion for many potential buyers, and sometimes even causing deals to fall through at the last minute. The Gripen's greatest strength, its engine, was also its biggest vulnerability, leaving Sweden's flagship fighter at the mercy of American policy decisions. For Sweden and Saab, this was a problem that needed fixing, sparking a search for ways to reduce dependence on foreign technology and truly achieve the independence they promised. The American veto wasn't just a theoretical risk. It became painfully real in 2025, sending shockwaves through the global defense industry. Colombia was set to buy Gripens, a huge win for Saab and a major step for Colombia's Air Force modernization, until the US blocked the engine export at the last minute. The deal collapsed instantly, leaving Colombia scrambling for alternatives and exposing the Gripen's Achilles heel to the world. This wasn't the first time US influence had quietly steered buyers away from the Gripen, but it was by far the most public and dramatic example yet. Countries like Norway, Poland and Finland all considered the Gripen before ultimately choosing American jets, patterns that were becoming increasingly hard to ignore for defense analysts. The Colombian incident made it clear the Gripen's dependence on US parts, especially the engine, undermined its promise of strategic independence and flexibility for buyers. About a third of the jet's components were American, but the engine was the deal breaker, a single point of failure that no amount of Swedish engineering could overcome. Saab's dream of offering a truly independent fighter was shattered, leaving the company and its customers questioning the future of the program. If the Gripen was ever going to reach its potential, it had to break free from its American chains. The question was, how could Saab regain control and restore confidence? The answer, as it turned out, would come from across the North Sea, setting the stage for a new chapter in the Gripen story. Enter Rolls-Royce, the British engineering powerhouse. While headlines focused on politics, Rolls-Royce quietly partnered with Saab, not to replace the engine outright, but to rework the Gripen systems from the inside. They started by rewiring the jet's electronics and propulsion systems, making it more resilient and less dependent on American tech. The goal: future-proof the Gripen, making it compatible with European and NATO systems. This behind-the-scenes work laid the foundation for a truly independent fighter. It was a strategic long-term move, one wire and one line of code at a time. The Swedish jet was getting a new lease on life. The upgrades went far beyond minor tweaks. Rolls-Royce and Saab overhauled the Gripen's electronic warfare stealth and survivability, making it harder to detect and target. They boosted NATO interoperability, ensuring the jet could seamlessly operate with allied forces. Avionics and cockpit upgrades made the Gripen easier and safer to fly, reducing pilot workload in combat. The modular system's architecture meant future upgrades, including a new engine, would be easier and cheaper. This wasn't just about fixing today's problems, it was about building the Gripen of tomorrow. The jet was being transformed from the inside out. Strategic freedom was finally within reach. With the groundwork done, the next step was bold, replacing the American engine with something entirely new. This wasn't just a technical swap, it was a statement of intent, a move that would redefine the Gripen's future and its place in the global market. Only a handful of companies in Europe had the expertise and resources to take on such a challenge. Rolls-Royce, with its legendary engineering pedigree, was the obvious choice. Their experience with advanced military engines made them the frontrunner. Imagine a Gripen E, fully upgraded and now powered by a British or European engine like the EJ200. This engine, already proven in the Eurofighter Typhoon, would bring new levels of performance and reliability to the Swedish jet. This upgrade would eliminate the US veto, giving Saab true independence in sales and exports. No longer would deals be held up by foreign politics or shifting alliances. Integrating a new engine is complex, involving countless hours of engineering and testing, but the Gripen's modular upgrades made it possible. Saab's forward-thinking design philosophy paid off. An ITAR-free Gripen would be a true game-changer. No more asking Washington for permission, no more red tape, just pure Swedish innovation ready for the world. For buyers, it would be the only high-performance non-Russian fighter offering real autonomy and freedom from political strings. That's a rare advantage in today's market. Nations in Asia, South America and Europe could buy with confidence, knowing they wouldn't face sudden restrictions or interference from outside powers. The Swedish bird would finally have a British roar, combining the best of both worlds in a single formidable package. And as this new Gripen takes to the skies, the world would have no choice but to listen. A fully independent Gripen changes the game for NATO and beyond. It strengthens Europe's defense autonomy, reducing reliance on US hardware. NATO members get a cost-effective, top-tier fighter that doesn't need American approval. This competition could drive down prices and spur innovation across the alliance. Countries like Canada or new NATO members could buy Gripens without US interference. For Sweden, it's a huge boost, restoring its reputation as a premier defense exporter. The Gripen becomes a tool of foreign policy and economic strength, not just a fighter jet. The US monopoly on high-end fighters faces a real challenge. Buyers get more choice, suppliers have to work harder. The fighter jet market just got a lot more interesting. This isn't just a story about a jet. It's about smart engineering overcoming political obstacles. Saab and Rolls-Royce didn't just complain, they rewired the Gripen's future, step by step. The result? A NATO-ready, unrestricted fighter, free from American control. Nations seeking true autonomy finally have a real option. The US, long the gatekeeper, now faces a competitor it can't control. The Gripen, once compromised, is now a symbol of strategic freedom. It got its wings back through quiet brilliance, not loud politics. In the world of global power, that's the most impressive maneuver of all.